Sayagoo, and welcome to another edition of Straight Talk here in Kahnawake. What we're going to be talking about this afternoon concerns everybody. And joining me in studio, I'm Christine Taylor. Joining me in studio for Mike Stock is
his wife, Regan Jacob Stock.
And
not his wife.
It's so funny because we're so synonymous with each other that it's one without the other. It's just strange, but he's a little under the weather, so I'll be stepping in for him today, and hopefully I can do this chair justice.
I'm sure we can. Well, welcome, and we're gonna get right into it because we have a lot of topics to get to this afternoon, and the biggest topic right now that a lot of us are concerned with is the bridge and the jurisdiction.
Which
with
part of the
union
bridge?
And
the part of the bridge is can
the part of the bridge that's not falling down,
or the part which has been very big in the news headlines is both actually but more recently is the iron workers and MBC the bridge
Mohawk Bridge Consortium I'm not sure.
I think
consortium.
Yeah.
And the Mohawk Council and the ongoings of that. If you noticed last time we went to air, we were discussing this, but there had been new developments in a sense that last week the Mohawk Council was asked to go to a meeting with the 207 Longhouse. If anyone noticed that, near the Mercier Bridge there was a camp set up, and I think it still is, where the 207 is making a statement saying that we're not supporting this recent signing of Bill 17, and they made very strong statements regarding the Mohawk Council signing.
Well, they made strong statements about the political side of it on the part of the Mohawk Council, about the union, about Pomerleau, about really the whole thing.
It was on Monday.
Different parties.
On Monday of this week, they sent out a press release to local media and other people stating these opinions.
And while some people might ask the question is, well, why are they getting involved in it? And then the other people would say, what's taking so long?
So, regardless of whether the Mohawk Council or how the 207 got involved, the fact is that we actually do have clips from the Mohawk Council, and we do have a comment from the 207 Longhouse, so we're going to go to that right now. Take a look. So, Kenneth, welcome. So we're here today to discuss the 207's involvement in the Mohawk Bridge consortium issue and the Mercier Bridge issue with the Mohawk Council of Kahnawake, and all these parties are involved at this point. Where does the 207 Longhouse come in to this issue? How do they play a role in this issue?
Well, first of all, we didn't play a role in the early stages, because it was things were going on its own pace. But we had a visit from the workers on the bridge coming to visit and they were expressing their concerns with the way the situation is going. They felt that they were not being involved in the negotiations. They don't know what's going on. They were concerned about the jurisdictional issue. To them, it wasn't it was not a union or non-union issue, but the jurisdiction, the imposition of R20 inside Kahnawake, and we met with them, and so we had a very good discussion, and the Longhouse then met about it, and we decided, it is a jurisdictional issue, and that we should express our point of view that R20 should not be imposed inside Kahnawake. So on March 2nd, we sent a letter to the Premier Charest expressing ourselves that that we don't really recognize the expropriation of the seaway and the bridges and the highways. That the underlying title is still Mohawk title, and laws like R20 should not be imposed upon our territory. And we offered Quebec to continue this kind of dialogue and this kind of discussion. They responded back by saying that the negotiations are taking place and the MCK is involved in that negotiations, and that's where that part ended. But the men kept coming back to see us and saying, still asking for help in their issues. And then last week, when the issues, it looked like the settlement was being made, and that Bill C-17 was being passed. The workers were not satisfied that R20 was still being implemented, at least partially. Not everything was being pushed out. So, but there was still a lot of information back and forth that we weren't sure exactly what was going on. So the Longhouse said that, well, let's look into this further, and then we'll come out with a position or a statement. So what we offered was a meeting in the Longhouse a week ago Wednesday, and we wanted to invite all the different parties to the Longhouse. We invited the workers, we invited the Band Council, we invited the Bridge Consortium, the Standards Committee, whatever it was called, and to come to and let's have a civil discussion, using good words, keep your emotions outside the Longhouse, and we'll come here and we'll have a discussion about these issues. And everybody showed up except the Mohawk Council. The Mohawk Council declined to come, which was unfortunate. So all the other parties were at the Longhouse. We met at 4 o'clock on Wednesday, and it was a very comfortable meeting. Everybody was civil, and everybody got a chance to speak using spokesmen, and it was a very, very well-run meeting. Everybody got to air their position, and all the Longhouse did was listen. We listened to the concerns that were expressed, and then when the meeting was over, we still wanted to meet with the council, and we were, I guess texting with Mike DeLille, and because he offered to meet with us at some time at some place, and we kept offering that meeting to meet with Mike, and that never happened. Friday passed, Saturday, but one of the things we did immediately, because the next day, Thursday, was the deadline day, we wrote a letter to Parmelo asking Parmelo for more time. Give us more time to investigate this issue, and then we can give our opinion and position on the situation. The letter was presented by the Mohawk Bridge Consortium to Parmelo. Parmelo agreed to wait until the following Tuesday to come up to try to find a solution to this impasse. And we still waited for the council to get back to us, to Michael. He didn't. So on Sunday, the Longhouse said we can't wait any longer, so we drafted a response. And what we did, we took all the information that we had and tried to come out with what we think everybody should know and what everybody should take into consideration in regarding this issue. We wrote a letter saying what we think Parmelo should be doing, what the Quebec government should have done, etc. And we said that we would send this out to the community. However, because of the postal strike, we couldn't put it in people's mailboxes, so we sent it to the media, to the local media inside Kahnawake, and we sent it to the members of the Mohawk Council. And in that letter, we expressed our point of view that we support the men's position to defend the jurisdiction, and that C-17 did not go far enough. We were still in position of union inside Kahnawake. So and so we supported them, and we supported the peaceful demonstration outside at Water Bridge. And I have to say that the Longhouse was there to keep the peace, because we did not want to see any hotheads, take some extreme positions or extreme actions in the situation. We were there to try to keep everything calm and to use a peaceful means, using, try to find a way to find a peaceful resolution. And we supported what the men were doing. And the men themselves, they decided not to accept the conditions that were already negotiated, and that they will rather not work than have to work under R20. And they said that to the Bridge Consortium. So when the Bridge Consortium met with Parmelo on Tuesday, the Bridge Consortium told Parmelo that the men are saying that they can't follow these conditions, and that was it. And everybody parted company. What happened after that, though, apparently, it's still not decided, but there was an interim agreement which says that people can work non-union or union at their men's choice, and that they can, actually the men got what they wanted.
They can work union or non-union, and they can pay into the CCQ, I guess, or the union that eventually goes to CCQ, or they can pay into the Kahnawake.
Well, it's still
not clear.
It's still not clear, because it says may. It says may contribute to a community development fund of one
the
kind.
Kahnawake Development Fund.
And those things still have to be negotiated, as well as the qualifications committee still has to be very clearly articulate what their role is, who is qualified, and under what list will be used for men to work under. So we think that if it goes through the way it's going, we think it's a very good settlement, and I think it was done peacefully. It involved everybody, and everybody is a winner if it goes through like this. The MCK gets its Bill 17. It gets to protect MSI and the committee.
Right.
The men can choose between working union or not union. The Mohawk Bridge Consortium gets to finish do the repairs on the structural steel of the bridge and get to take part with in Part B on the decking. Parmelo gets to go ahead with his contract to fix the bridge. Quebec will have a repaired bridge, so everybody wins in this scenario. So we think the Longhouse played a small part in it in helping to put this team together. So we're pleased that we were able to help.
Where did the 207's involvement come from? I mean, you've explained why at this point, but I think to clarify to some people in the community, where did it come from? Like, why were you asked? Why did the 207 feel the need to, among all the other longhouses? I think that's a question. Why does the 207 feel the need to defend Kahnawake jurisdiction and not leave it to the local government of the day, if you will?
Well, first of all, it's the men that approach this. It's the workers on the bridge that approach us and ask for help. And they asked, and we helped them. You know, they explained to us, and it was their position and our position was very similar. The Longhouse on 207 always is looking at jurisdictional issues. You know, you go back to the Olympic torch, you go back to other issues. We always defend the jurisdiction of Kahnawake. So it's not, people shouldn't be surprised that the Longhouse takes that position. It always takes that position. Now, why Mohawk Trail and others weren't involved? Well, they didn't approach them. You know, they approached us, and so we just carried the ball as we were asked to do, and we supported it. We weren't part of the negotiations. We just supported the men's position, and we helped. You know,
do you think you should have been part of the negotiations?
Well, if we feel that we have a role to play in the negotiations, and we offered that to Quebec, and they said no, they're negotiating with Mohawk Council, that's fine. And the Mohawk Council negotiated what they could, and they went as far as they could, but they didn't go far enough. So the workers had to carry that extra weight to get the R20 pushed out even further. You know. So it was, when you look at it in a positive way, everybody wins. You know, the Mohawk Council got what it wanted, and the men got what it wanted. You know.
What about the other men now in the community in terms of the union men? I know everybody is union. I've already understand that point, but I mean the other side of it, where there were union men who weren't part of the MBC consortium, who said, well, we don't mind working on the bridge, we just want to work. They didn't get involved in this issue. Do you feel that they were represented underneath?
I don't know if they were represented. I think that we felt that we were defending them, their right. We felt that if you were union and you wanted to work union, you know, the opportunity now is there, you know, right. And so they should be happy with that too. I don't know if anybody's perfectly happy, but that's the nature of negotiations.
Thank you. Anything else you think is
important? No. The only thing I want to say is that we, you know, I want to make sure that people know that the Longhouse was not so. There were some rumors out there that the Longhouse was going to block the bridge, going to block the highways and stuff. That was not at all what the Longhouse had in mind. Our role was to defend the jurisdiction, to support the workers who asked for our help, and that is what we did.